Find your stillness. Scripture speaks to us from the Psalms. Chapter 6. 1 inch the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. 2 above him stood the Seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face. With 2 he covered his feet. With 2 he flew. 3. One called to another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahweh of armies. The whole earth is full of his glory. 4. The foundations of the thresholds shook at the voice of him who called, and the house was filled with smoke. 5. Then I said, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell among a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahweh of armies. 6. Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar. 7. He touched my mouth with it, and said, Behold, this has touched your lips, and your iniquity is taken away, and your sin forgiven. 8. I heard the Lord's voice, saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Here I am, send me. 9. He said, Go and tell this people, You hear indeed, but don't understand, and you see indeed, but don't perceive. 10. Make the heart of this people fat, make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and turn again, and be healed. 11. Then I said, Lord, how long? He answered, Until cities are waste without inhabitant, and houses without man, and the land becomes utterly waste. 12. And Yahweh has removed men far away, and the forsaken places are many within the land. 13. If there is a tenth left in it, that also will in turn be consumed, as a terebinth and as an oak, whose stock remains when they are felled. So the holy seed is its stock. Chapter 7. 1 inch the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, Rezin the king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up to Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. 2. David's house was told, Syria is allied with Ephraim. His heart trembled, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the forest tremble with the wind. 3. Then Yahweh said to Isaiah, Go out now to meet Ahaz, you, and Shear-Jashub your son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool, on the highway of the fuller's field. 4. Tell him, Be careful, and keep calm. Don't be afraid. Neither let your heart be faint because of these 2 tales of smoking torches, for the fierce anger of Rezin and Syria, and of the son of Remaliah. 5. Because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah have plotted evil against you, saying, 6. Let's go up against Judah, and tear it apart, and let's divide it among ourselves, and set up a king within it, even the son of Tabeel. 7. This is what the Lord Yahweh says, It shall not stand, neither shall it happen. 8. For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin, and within 65 years Ephraim shall be broken in pieces, so that it shall not be a people. 9. And the head of Ephraim is Samaria, and the head of Samaria is Remaliah's son. If you will not believe, surely you shall not be established. 10. Yahweh spoke again to Ahaz, saying, 11. Ask a sign of Yahweh your God. Ask it either in the depth or in the height above. 12. But Ahaz said, I will not ask, neither will I tempt Yahweh. 13. He said, Listen now, house of David. Is it not enough for you to try the patience of men, that you will try the patience of my God also? 14. Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin will conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. 15. He shall eat butter and honey when he knows to refuse the evil and choose the good. 16. For before the child knows to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land whose 2 kings you abhor shall be forsaken. 17 Yahweh will bring on you, on your people, and on your father's house, days that have not come, from the day that Ephraim departed from Judah, even the king of Assyria. 18. It will happen in that day that Yahweh will whistle for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. 19. They shall come, and shall all rest in the desolate valleys, in the clefts of the rocks, on all thorn hedges, and on all pastures. 20 inches that day the Lord will shave with a razor that is hired in the parts beyond the river, even with the king of Assyria, the head and the hair of the feet, and it shall also consume the beard. 21. It shall happen in that day that a man shall keep alive a young cow and 2 sheep. 22. And it shall happen that because of the abundance of milk which they shall give, he shall eat butter, for everyone will eat butter and honey that is left within the land. 23. It will happen in that day that every place where there were 1,000 vines at 1,000 silver shekels shall be for briars and thorns. 24. People will go there with arrows and with bow, because all the land will be briars and thorns. 25. All the hills that were cultivated with the hoe, you shall not come there for fear of briars and thorns, but it shall be for the sending out of oxen and for the treading of sheep. Chapter 8. 1 Yahweh said to me, Take a large tablet, and write on it with a man's pen, for Mar Shalal Hashbaz. 2. And I will take for myself faithful witnesses to testify, Uriah the priest, and Zechariah the son of Jeberechiah. 3. I went to the prophetess, and she conceived, and bore a son. Then Yahweh said to me, Call his name Maher Shalal Hashbaz. 4. For before the child knows how to say, My father, and my mother, the riches of Damascus and the plunder of Samaria will be carried away by the king of Assyria. 5. Yahweh spoke to me yet again, saying, 6. Because this people have refused the waters of Shiloah that go softly, and rejoice in Rezin and Remaliah's son. 7. Now therefore, behold, the Lord brings upon them the mighty flood waters of the river, the king of Assyria and all his glory. It will come up over all its channels and go over all its banks. 8. It will sweep onward into Judah. It will overflow and pass through. It will reach even to the neck, and the stretching out of its wings will fill the width of your land. Emmanuel. 9. Make an uproar, you peoples, and be broken in pieces. Listen, all you from far countries. Dress for battle and be shattered. Dress for battle and be shattered. 10. Take counsel together, and it will be brought to nothing. Speak the word, and it will not stand. For God is with us. 11. For Yahweh spoke thus to me with a strong hand, and instructed me not to walk in the way of this people, saying, 12. Don't say, a conspiracy, concerning all about which this people say, a conspiracy. Neither fear their threats, nor be terrorized. 13. Yahweh of armies is who you must respect as holy. He is the one you must fear. He is the one you must dread. 14. He will be a sanctuary, but for both houses of Israel he will be a trap and a snare for the inhabitants of Jerusalem. 15. Many will stumble over it, fall, be broken, be snared, and be captured. 16. Wrap up the testimony. Seal the law among my disciples. 17. I will wait for Yahweh, who hides his face from the house of Jacob, and I will look for him. 18. Behold, I and the children whom Yahweh has given me are for signs and for wonders in Israel, from Yahweh of armies, who dwells in Mount Zion. 19. When they tell you, consult with those who have familiar spirits, and with the wizards, who chirp and who mutter, shouldn't a people consult with their God? Should they consult the dead on behalf of the living? 20. Turn to the law and to the testimony. If they don't speak according to this word, surely there is no mourning for them. 21. They will pass through it, very distressed and hungry. And it will happen that when they are hungry, they will worry, and curse by their king and by their God. They will turn their faces upward, 22, and look to the earth, and see distress, darkness, and the gloom of anguish. They will be driven into thick darkness. Chapter 9, 1. But there shall be no more gloom for her who was in anguish. In the former time he brought into contempt the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali. But in the latter time he has made it glorious, by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the nations. 2. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who lived in the land of the shadow of death, on them the light has shined. 3. You have multiplied the nation. You have increased their joy. They rejoice before you according to the joy in harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the plunder. 4. For the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, you have broken as in the day of Midian. 5. For all the armor of the armed man in the noisy battle, and the garments rolled in blood, will be for burning, fuel for the fire. 6. For to us a child is born. To us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders. His name will be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. 7. Of the increase of his government and of peace there shall be no end, on David's throne and on his kingdom, to establish it and to uphold it with justice and with righteousness from that time on, even forever. The zeal of Yahweh of armies will perform this. 8. The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it falls on Israel. 9. All the people will know, including Ephraim and the inhabitants of Samaria, who say in pride and in arrogance of heart. 10. The bricks have fallen, but we will build with cut stone. The sycamore fig trees have been cut down, but we will put cedars in their place. 11. Therefore Yahweh will set up on high against him the adversaries of Rezin, and will stir up his enemies. 12. The Syrians in front, and the Philistines behind, and they will devour Israel with open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 13. Yet the people have not turned to him who struck them, neither have they sought Yahweh of armies. 14. Therefore Yahweh will cut off from Israel head and tail, palm branch and reed, in one day. 15. The elder and the honorable man is the head, and the prophet who teaches lies is the tail. 16. For those who lead this people lead them astray, and those who are led by them are destroyed. 17. Therefore the Lord will not rejoice over their young men, neither will he have compassion on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is profane and an evildoer, and every mouth speaks folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 18. For wickedness burns like a fire. It devours the briars and thorns. Yes, it kindles in the thickets of the forest, and they roll upward in a column of smoke. 19. Through Yahweh of armies' wrath, the land is burned up, and the people are the fuel for the fire. No one spares his brother. 21 will devour on the right hand, and be hungry, and he will eat on the left hand, and they will not be satisfied. Everyone will eat the flesh of his own arm. 21 Manasseh, Ephraim, and Ephraim, Manasseh, and they together shall be against Judah. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. Chapter 10. 1 Woe to those who decree unrighteous decrees, and to the writers who write oppressive decrees. 2 To deprive the needy from justice, and to rob the poor among my people of their rights, that widows may be their plunder, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. 3 What will you do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which will come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? Where will you leave your wealth? 4 They will only bow down under the prisoners, and will fall under the slain. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. 5 Alas, Assyrian, the rod of my anger, the staff in whose hand is my indignation. 6 I will send him against a profane nation, and against the people who anger me will I give him a command to take the plunder, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. 7 However, he doesn't mean so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy, and to cut off not a few nations. 8. For he says, aren't all of my princes kings? 9. Isn't Calno like Carchemish? Isn't Hamath like Arpad? Isn't Samaria like Damascus? 10. As my hand has found the kingdoms of the idols, whose engraved images exceeded those of Jerusalem and of Samaria, 11. Shall I not, as I have done to Samaria and her idols, so do to Jerusalem and her idols? 12. Therefore, it will happen that, when the Lord has performed his whole work on Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the willful proud heart of the king of Assyria, and the insolence of his haughty looks. 13. For he has said, by the strength of my hand I have done it, and by my wisdom, for I have understanding, and I have removed the boundaries of the peoples, and have robbed their treasures. Like a valiant man I have brought down their rulers. 14. My hand has found the riches of the peoples like a nest, and like one gathers eggs that are abandoned, I have gathered all the earth. There was no one who moved their wing, or that opened their mouth, or chirped. 15. Should an axe brag against him who chops with it? Should a saw exalt itself above him who saws with it? As if a rod should lift those who lift it up, or as if a staff should lift up someone who is not wood. 16. Therefore the Lord, Yahweh of armies, will send among his fat ones leanness, and under his glory a burning will be kindled like the burning of fire. 17. The light of Israel will be for a fire, and his Holy One for a flame, and it will burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day. 18. He will consume the glory of his forest, and of his fruitful field, both soul and body. It will be as when a standard-bearer faints. 19. The remnant of the trees of his forest shall be few, so that a child could write their number. 20. It will come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and those who have escaped from the house of Jacob, will no more again lean on him who struck them, but shall lean on Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. 21. A remnant will return, even the remnant of Jacob, to the mighty God. 22. For though your people, Israel, are like the sand of the sea, only a remnant of them will return. A destruction is determined, overflowing with righteousness. 23. For the Lord, Yahweh of armies, will make a full end, and that determined, throughout all the earth. 24. Therefore, the Lord, Yahweh of armies, says, my people who dwell in Zion, don't be afraid of the Assyrian, though he strike you with the rod, and lift up his staff against you, as Egypt did. 25. For yet a very little while, and the indignation against you will be accomplished, and my anger will be directed to his destruction. 26. Yahweh of armies will stir up a scourge against him, as in the slaughter of Midian, at the rock of Oreb. His rod will be over the sea, and he will lift it up like he did against Egypt. 27. It will happen in that day, that his burden will depart from off your shoulder, and his yoke from off your neck, and the yoke shall be destroyed because of the anointing oil. 28. He has come to Iath. He has passed through Migron. At Michmash he stores his baggage. 29. They have gone over the pass. They have taken up their lodging at Geba. Ramah trembles. Gibeah of Saul has fled. 30. Cry aloud with your voice, daughter of Galim. Listen, Lisha, you poor Anathoth. 31. Madmenah is a fugitive. The inhabitants of Gebim flee for safety. 32. This very day he will halt at Nob. He shakes his hand at the mountain of the daughter of Zion, the hill of Jerusalem. 33. Behold, the Lord, Yahweh of armies, will lop the boughs with terror. The tall will be cut down, and the lofty will be brought low. 34. He will cut down the thickets of the forest with iron, and Lebanon will fall by the mighty one. Thank you for listening. May these ancient words continue to work in your heart. Until next time.